most comprehensive news coverage for the Santa Clara Valley. KNTV News Nightside.
Good evening. East Bay residents are picking up the pieces tonight after a 3.7 quake rattled the area earlier this afternoon. The quake, which hit at about 1 o'clock this afternoon, was centered on the Hayward fault line just north of San Leandro. A Fresno woman was raped by a man posing as a police officer Thursday night, and today police are telling motorists to ask for identification before getting out of the car. Concert organizers expect to raise at least $100,000 this weekend, and if you're interested, bands will still be playing at Muni Stadium until about 10 tonight. Well, Rick Chavez is coming up next with sports. San Jose State and Stanford renewed their football series. We'll see highlights from Stanford, and the Oakland A's were on the verge of winning their division. Find out if they did next in sports. Mexican President Carlos Salinas de Gortari continues a three-day swing through our state today. The first day of his trip was plagued by protests against human rights abuses in Mexico. The Mexican president attended a number of functions in the San Diego area. At one, demonstrators rallied outside. Lori Houts was just 25 years old when she was strangled with a nylon rope, probably in her car, as she headed for a friend's wedding in Mountain View a week ago Saturday. The UC Davis graduate had just started working at Adobe Systems 2 months ago as a testing engineer. She'd come in on the weekend to work on a project on her computer, but she didn't sign off before going to her car and meeting her murderer.
She'd been placed in the passenger seat. At this time, we don't know if she was attacked in the parking lot of Adobe Systems, attacked in the parking lot in her car in Adobe Systems, or in some way lured out to Crittenden Lane and was attacked out there.
Lori's body was discovered slumped over in her Honda here in this industrial park area of Mountain View, less than 1 mile from where she worked at Adobe Systems. And her purse was found on the other side of this fence right across the street. Her wallet still had credit cards and money inside, leading police to believe robbery was not a motive.
She was everything to me. She was my sister and my mother, my guardian, my inspiration, the love of my life, the light of my life. She made everything okay.
1990 will go down as the year sub-freezing temperatures devastated California's multi-million-dollar citrus industry.
It's a major freeze. I haven't seen anything like this since 1972.
At least 60% of these trees have buckled under temperatures that have dipped below 20 degrees. This mushy ice will eventually dry out the fruit, and even rushing them to the juice packers won't offset growers' losses. But they still have a glimmer of hope. Even though California stands to lose most of its $350 million crop of oranges this year, growers are still fighting to save what's left of it.
For protecting the trees, we're running water right now, warm water, into the field. It comes out of the ground at 68 degrees, and we're trying to create our own artificial dew point in the field. A warm, moist air mass cools down much slower than a cold, dry air mass. And then also, we burn peach pits and little bonfires all the way around the grove to try to raise another couple degrees. If everything goes right, we can raise the temperature around 5 degrees. Sometimes that's all it takes to save a crop. Tonight, we're hoping that's all it takes to save the trees.
Grocers say consumers shouldn't panic about the price, the quality, or the availability of oranges, at least not yet. This year's orange crop should have been in the marketplace by now, but possibly because of a 4th year of drought in California, growers have had to wait for the right sugar-acid balance. That and the gripping chill have joined to affect not only orange growers, but also the pickers, packers, shippers, and grocers who will lose money this year.
The first person charged under California's controversial new gun storage law will stand trial.
That means 47-year-old Nicholas Conchis of San Jose is going to stand trial in connection with the accidental shooting of his 4-year-old grandson. Deborah Martinez has been in the courtroom all afternoon. She joins us live now from the Hall of Justice with the details. Deborah.
Well, Maggie and Rob, it was about a year ago, almost, on New Year's Day, that little Jesus Valencia found his grandfather's .22 caliber gun and shot and killed himself. It was a tragedy just hours.
But a new daycare center to be built in San Jose may solve 2 problems at once. Deborah Martinez reports now live from San Jose's Tamian Station. Deborah.
That's right. You know, this idea was first proposed by County Supervisor Zoe Lofgren 7 years ago. Today, it was finally given approval, and now it looks like the county will be able to build a daycare center right next to this rail station. Well, a few weeks ago, the players were locked out of the rehearsal hall and their performance hall behind me here. What they did was come out in front of the rehearsal hall, set up their stands and their chairs, and they started to play music. Well, tonight, after an agreement has been reached over the weekend, they can finally take their music inside these doors again. There was chamber music. And a good crowd, with everyone dressed in their
Dearly
best.
beloved, we are gathered here together here in the sight of God and in the presence of these witnesses to join together Michael Brutus and Michelle Beatrice together in this honorable estate of holy matrimony, which was
It was meant to bring Brutus and Beatrice together, but this was no ordinary wedding.
Could it be that at this time and at this place that we are setting things right, the way that God would intend it for two dogs to come and be married and not live in sin?
No one had any objections to this marriage. Well, almost no one.
Wherever there are bones to bury, who says these two dogs can't marry? We can live together here, 'cause love will be our home.
And in the end, it was a joyous occasion, blessed by an honest-to-goodness minister.
Those whom God hath joined together, let not man put asunder. Be fruitful and multiply.
You know, we're really lucky. We get some real great musical talents visiting us in the Valley, and tonight was no exception.
Certainly do. As we leave you tonight, we give you a taste of the music of Ray Charles, who played before a sold-out audience at the historic Tower Theater this evening. Enjoy and have a good night.
We'll see you tomorrow.